Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Marriage Man. Today we're going to be continuing in our series on understanding narcissism. This is the third video in this series, and today we're going to be covering setting healthy boundaries with a narcissist. Now before we get started, please like this video and subscribe to this channel, as this tells YouTube that these videos are meaningful and will put it out in front of more people. Now having said that, let's dive right in. Setting boundaries with a narcissist. What does it look like? Now, ideally, the best boundary that you can set with a narcissist is what is called no contact. No contact is simply this idea of they are not in your life anymore. You're not contacting them anymore. Now, we'll get into what exactly that looks like in a moment. But before we do that, I do want to say a couple things that I think are pretty important for you to know. Now, setting boundaries with narcissists doesn't have to be loud and dramatic. It doesn't have to be you kind of beating your chest and saying, "Get out of my life. Don't ever contact me again." In fact, with some narcissists, this could be a very dangerous thing to do, depending on if they're a narcissist versus a psychopath versus a sociopath, something along those lines. There are some very truly dangerous people out there, and a lot of them are narcissists. So, setting boundaries doesn't always mean that you even have to tell the narcissist that you're setting a boundary. It can be a quiet thing, a simple adjusting of the rules, a simple pulling away, something like that. Also good to know is that every person who is in a relationship with a narcissist and trying to leave will at some point get sucked back in. It happens to everyone. So don't get discouraged when it happens to you. Don't feel like you've failed or you've messed up or that you haven't changed. It's your learning. Anytime that we learn something, we mess up, we make mistakes. There's an old proverb that says a righteous man or a woman falls down 6 times but gets back up. This will be the same for you. If you find yourself trying to pull away from the narcissist but you fall back in, don't get discouraged. Keep doing what you're doing if it's working. But honestly, take a good look and make sure that it is working. Another common sticking point that I see with people who are pulling away from narcissists is that a lot of times they wrestle with forgiveness. Now, why is that? It is because you got to remember, as we've talked about in previous videos, one of the most attractive things about you to the narcissist is that you are a very ethical and moral person. Ethical people are, to a certain degree, very easy to manipulate. All you have to do is simply tell them, you're not a good husband, you're not a good wife, you're not a good child, you're not a good member of this religious community, you're not a good employee. And something inside of you will really take offense to that and will want to lean back in and say, no, hold on, you don't understand. And that's where they get you. So understand that you are a good person, you are an ethical person, and you are going to really most likely wrestle with this idea of, if I'm starting to set healthy boundaries with this person, does that mean that I'm not forgiving them? Now, I'm not going to address that here in this video because that is a personal journey that, quite frankly, I can't help you with. That is something you're going to have to discover on your own. Now, let's dive in the ways that boundaries can look like. As I stated earlier, no contact is the best. It is the safest form. That is because it completely eliminates the possibility for this person to continue hurting you, emotionally or psychologically. Now, what are some obstacles to no contact? First and foremost is you will be tempted to reach back out to that person. It is going to happen. It may not be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be next week, it might be next month, it might be years from now. Depending upon the relationship, you will be tempted to reach back out. So start planning now. What are you going to do on those days? A really useful thing is to journal your experience. Why are you leaving this person? What have you decided? What made you come to this decision? Remember these things, so that way when you do feel the need to reach back out to this person, you'll have this evidence as like, oh yeah, that's why. It's also useful to surround yourself with friends, or perhaps a therapist that can help give you accountability on those days when you want to reach back out. This is going to be so useful. Another thing that may happen is that this person, this narcissist in your life, may reach out to you. Try to reestablish the relationship. Please understand why they're doing this. Most often they are going to do this and it is going to seem like a good thing. They've changed. They've learned from losing you just how bad they were. They're going to say things. Assume that they haven't. I know that sounds harsh, but really assume that they haven't changed. Because with my experience with dealing with people who have had narcissists in their life, and when they come back into their life and they do try, it is entirely for the narcissist's benefit that they are coming back into your life. Ultimately, they want to know, can I still control you? Because being in a relationship was beneficial for them. They got to spin you like a top. They got to jerk on you and use you for emotional stability. And they want that back. They're not coming back into the relationship for your benefit. Please understand that. Also, if they don't reach out to you, one thing that you can probably expect is that they are going to make a big deal about how much better their life is now that you're out of it. They're going to post on social media. They're going to tell your friends and their family members about how wonderful it is now that you're gone, how much better it is now that you're gone. Just understand, again, this is for their benefit. This is for their ego. Narcissists are, by nature, selfish people. So just understand what they're doing. It's not against you. Don't rise to that bait. Cut them out of your life. The last thing is that if you do implement no contact, please understand you're going to have to rebuild your life. This can look like a lot of different things, depending on where the narcissist affected your life. It could mean that you have to form new friends and leave maybe all of your friends behind. It could mean that you have to switch careers. It could mean that you have to move to another city. But it's this idea of you have to rebuild. You have to move on with your life. It's a lot of times people who have been emotionally wrung out by a narcissist, oftentimes, as weird as it may seem, will look in the rearview mirror at the previous chapter. You have to not do that. You have to move on with your life and rebuild. Now, no contact may not always work. It is the healthiest solution, but it doesn't always work, depending upon your situation. It could be that the narcissist and you have had children, and you are going to be in that person's life for the rest of their life. It could be that they're a family member. It could be that they're multiple members of your family. And so no contact just simply won't work. The other alternative to no contact is what I like to call detached contact or delayed contact. It is simply this idea of this person's going to be in your life, but you're going to limit their access to your emotions. Now, the easiest way that you can do this might be just, quite simply, delaying when you talk to them. It could be this idea of you're only going to communicate with them through text or email, not in person, not over the phone. This allows you to do a very cool thing. This idea of if they reach out to you, you don't respond for at least 30 minutes, maybe even a whole day. And this is each individual time that they reach out to you. So it could go something like, hey, how are you? You wait 30 minutes. Fine. What's up? Did you blah, 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 trying to hook you in with an accusation. You wait 30 minutes. No, I didn't. But you always used to do that. You always used to do that. You wait 30 minutes. No, I didn't. And then if they keep going, you don't contact them. You don't engage. Maybe you block them on your phone, or you turn your phone off, or you block them on email or Facebook, whatever it may be. It's not no contact, but it is delaying their ability to influence you. It could also be that you just don't have lengthy conversations with this person. That if you're starting to talk with them, you're not going to just shoot the breeze and start talking. You're going to stay on task, you're going to stay on focus, and you are going to try and wrap it up as quick as possible. That could be a form of delayed or detached response. Another way that you could do this is through setting hard boundaries on certain things, on certain behaviors. For example, if the narcissist is a family member and you have to be around this family member, it could be if you start talking about my friends or my family, or you start asking questions about my life, I'm leaving immediately, or I'm hanging up the phone immediately. It could be look, if you start arguing with me or you want me to start drinking with you because you know that when I get drunk, you can get at me real easily, I'm leaving. Or I'm hanging up the phone. And that could be setting those hard boundaries. And again, going back to what I said earlier on in the video, this could be something that you decide for yourself and you never inform them about. It could be something where you do actually tell them, hey, if we're going to talk, it's going to be about the kids. And if you ask anything about who I'm dating or where I'm living or what type of friends I have, I'm hanging up the phone immediately. And we'll pick this conversation up tomorrow. Another way that this could look like is refusing to let the spotlight come on you. We covered this in another video that what narcissists love to do is put the spotlight on you. Because if it's on you, where is it not? It's not on them. And so for them, this could be trying to control the story, trying to provoke you emotionally by doing something dramatic. It could be something like saying, you're a horrible mother, or you're a lousy boyfriend and no one will ever love you. And then you don't engage because they just acted crazy. But when you respond, you're going to look like the crazy one. So you don't respond. You simply hang up the phone, block them on that message, leave the building, or walk away. Now, I hope this video has helped. Setting boundaries is a step that's important for anybody who's dealing with a narcissist. In fact, there's a couple steps before this that you need to kind of work through before you get to setting boundaries. And we are going to cover those steps in the next video. So until next week, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video.